Let's get straight to the point. Morocco is not chill. It's chaotic, spicy, loud, warm, unpredictable, overwhelming, and somehow it still makes your soul exhale. It's a place where you'll hear 5 languages before breakfast, where ancient Amassi traditions mix with French leftovers and Arabic flair. A place where the scent of cinnamon, exhaust fumes, and simmering tagine somehow coexist. There's nowhere else like it, and once Morocco gets under your skin, it stays there. These aren't just things to do in Morocco, these are my favorite moments. The experiences I had that cracked me open and made me fall in love with this place. After surviving the medinas and melting in the hammams, I walked away with 5 unforgettable experiences and a better understanding of the place, its people, and how I want to travel. Let's go. So I take this cooking class in Marrakech. Not the kind that everything is prepped and you stir the pot for 5 minutes and then clap. We went shopping in the Medina where chickens were still clucking, spices came in literal mountains, and our instructor had a personal relationship with every vendor. We brought back fresh bread and ingredients for a vegetarian tagine, which, by the way, is both the dish and the cone-shaped ceramic pot it's cooked in. Think of it like a slow-cooked stew with soul. In her home, we cooked everything from scratch, learned the actual spice technique, and most importantly, how to pour the Moroccan mint tea like a local from an altitude of about 1 story up. It wasn't just about food, it was about understanding a flavor language I could bring home. And now I can make couscous like I was raised in Marrakech. If Morocco had a secret sauce, it's the Atlas Mountains. We drove 2-3 hours through winding cliffside roads just to get to the villages, where the air changes and so does everything else. These mountain villages are home to the Berber people, the original indigenous inhabitants of North Africa. They have their own language, Tamazight, their own alphabet, and their own culture. It's not Arabic, and it's definitely not tourist performance. It's real. There are 3 main types of Berber tribes living in the Atlas Mountains. And if you've ever bought Moroccan argan oil, handmade rugs, or that gorgeous natural soap that smells like heaven, that's all Berber craftsmanship. Their culture is in everything, even if you don't know it. While exploring, I walked through towering red rock valleys, where you'll pass goats defying gravity on cliff walls. I crossed cold waterfalls where someone is always selling the freshest orange juice of your life. You'll workshop whether you meant to or not, and you'll probably be offered tea at least 6 times before noon. I even walked through a working irrigation system, one of those ancient water systems that keeps the farms going, and it felt like walking straight through a National Geographic episode. In one village, my guide actually brought us back to his home, where his family made us lunch from scratch, homemade couscous, fresh vegetable tagine, and tea, all while we sat on a terrace with a view that felt like a postcard. I've eaten a lot of tagines in Morocco, but that one was made with love and cumin. This one's not for the shy, a traditional hammam. I went to one of the really old school ones in Marrakech. Not the fancy rose petals and mood lightings version, the real deal. A woman scrubbed me with black soap, exfoliated my skin like I owed it money, and didn't stop until I was basically reborn. After that, an hour-long massage and a glass of tea that tasted like heaven and victory. A hammam isn't just self-care, it's a cultural reset. My skin has never been the same. And honestly, neither have my standards for a shower. For my birthday, I decided to do the most extra thing possible. Wake up before the sun and float over Marrakech in a hot air balloon. We woke up in the pitch dark to catch the sunrise from the sky. Watching them inflate the hot air balloons was like watching magic meet science. Once we were up, it was silent, peaceful, ridiculously beautiful. You're just floating. Getting out of the balloon though? That was chaos. We squat down, bounce off the ground like a sack of potatoes, and crawl out sideways like a giant laundry hamper full of humans. And then you get coffee, breakfast, and a certificate written in Arabic that proves you survived. A core memory, honestly. Mursuga. the edge of the Sahara. This wasn't a quick stop. This was a 3-day journey through Morocco's shifting landscapes until the roads disappeared and it was just sand. I rode a camel into the dunes and stopped in a desert camp under the clearest sky I've ever seen. We had dinner and then danced the night away with locals by the firelight, heard music that didn't need translation, and even tried sandboarding. Sand dunes are surreal in real life. It's nothing like the movie Dune. It's better. It's quiet. It's soft. It's alive. And yes, riding camels back out of the next morning felt like leaving a dream. Turns out, not being chill is exactly what made Morocco so good. Every corner threw something new at me, and honestly, that's why I loved it. Those were my top 5 favorite experiences, but Morocco has way more up its sleeve. And if you want more, I also visited the Usud waterfalls, wandered through the blue-painted alleyways of Chefchaouen, and got lost in the biggest medina in the world in Fes. Those stories are in my other vlogs. Go binge them. So yes, Morocco was chaos and kindness and cumin. If you're going, I hope you go deep. Don't just see it. Feel it. Taste it. Scrub it off your skin. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like to do first. Or if you've been, which one blew your mind. And if you're planning, save this video. You're going to want it. Thank you so much for watching. I have a whole playlist of my adventures in Morocco, so be sure to check that out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!